We now have questions to the Honourable Member for Battersea representing the Church Commissioners and the Honourable Member representing the House of Commons Commission and the Restoration and Renewal Client Board. Matt Turmaine.
Question number 1, please, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Cordova.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it's a pleasure to see you at Church Questions this morning. With permission, I wish to group questions 1 and 3. I also would like to put on record my thanks to the Leader of the House for stepping in to cover questions last month due to me being unwell. The Church of England remains deeply concerned about the rising persecution on grounds of faith and belief worldwide, including in recent cases in Iran, Sudan, India and Palestine, with Christian communities remaining the most targeted. The Church is working closely with the FCDA to improve faith literacy of its officials, support the International Panel of Parliamentarians, regularly providing resources to bishops to raise cases in the other place, as well as developing resources for use across the global Anglican Communion.
Matt Turmaine.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I thank my right honourable friend for her answer. In my constituency of Watford, I received many Christmas cards from residents supporting the Open Doors campaign, concerned about the persecution of Christians around the world. I've also met with representatives from those congregations in my constituency. Would my right honourable friend agree with me that the World Watch List, which was published here in Parliament yesterday, is an important project identifying the locations of persecuted Christians around the world and encourage those countries to promote tolerance?
Over.
Well, yes, I do agree with him, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I was pleased to attend the launch of the Open Doors World Watch List yesterday here in Parliament, and hearing the testimonies of those who have fled persecution was powerful. Madam Deputy Speaker, an estimated 338 million Christians are facing persecution across 50 countries, and those include Somalia, Sudan, Pakistan, Iran, Nigeria, India, Myanmar, Iraq and Egypt. Organisations like Open Doors do vital work in raising awareness and highlighting the persecution of people with faith. Their work, and their report, is a stark reminder and a showing of why global norms matter.
Andrew Rosindell.
I thank the honourable member for her answer, but she'll be aware that over the past decades, over 50,000 Christians have been inhumanely slaughtered in Nigeria by murderous Islamist groups, namely Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen. These attacks have only intensified in recent months, targeting vulnerable groups like Christian schools and missionaries. This is a tragedy of mammoth proportions. So, what action is the Church of England taking to prioritise the issue of Christian persecution and to support the Anglican Church in Nigeria?
Over.
Thank you, and can I thank the honourable member for his question. He has been a strong voice on this issue, and so I welcome that. And he rightly highlights that thousands of Christians are being killed because of their faith. And that persecution comes in many forms. As we know, he's mentioned schools and so forth. And that is why we are so grateful for the work of organisations like Open Doors and those aid to churches in need and others for shining a light on what is happening globally. And as I say, the bishops in the other place continue to raise these cases, and it is something that remains a priority for the Church.
Catherine Fuchs.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Question number 2, please.
Cordova.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. With permission, I will group question 2 and 4. The future of the listed places of worship scheme continues to feature heavily during question time, with over 200 members raising this issue. Faith communities with listed buildings are waiting for clarity on the future of the scheme, which is due to end in March this year. The uncertainty is delaying repairs and implementation of community projects nationwide. Now, I met with the Minister of Heritage just before Christmas and was assured that the government would be updating the House soon.
Catherine Fuchs.
I've had the privilege over the last 18 months of visiting many beautiful historic places of worship in Monmouthshire, including St James's, Llangua, Betters Newydd Church, St Mary's Priory and St Tudric's, which dates back to 600 AD. The Listed Places scheme is a lifeline for the volunteers and charities, such as the amazing Friends of Friendless Churches, who look after these buildings, like Llandwyrddick Baptist Chapel, which needs the scheme to fix its roof. Can my honourable friend please update me on any discussions the Church Commissioners have recently had with Government on this issue?
Cordova.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And it's good to hear how this scheme has benefited churches in my honourable friend's constituency. While I'm not responsible for the church in Wales, I can inform my honourable friend that Wales has a significantly higher proportion of listed places of worship than England, and most buildings are in areas of low economic activity and fewer opportunities for philanthropy. Now, I would be very happy to put her in touch with the relevant people in Wales so she can continue to engage with them. As I've highlighted, I have met with the Minister recently and I was assured that they would be bringing forward plans soon.
Madam Deputy Speaker, whatever one's faith, the historic churches in North East Hertfordshire are an incredible part of our local heritage. They are places of peace and beauty, are ever-present reminders of centuries of our history and a focal point for village life, providing space for social activities and community life in what feels like an increasingly fragmented society. So will my honourable friend agree with me that the government must do everything it can to support parishes with the huge challenge of maintaining our historic churches so they can continue to enrich our lives for generations to come?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. You're not the first to stumble saying my surname, unfortunately. But I agree with my honourable friend. Historic churches are often cornerstones of our local communities, and even if members of that community are not regular churchgoers or attend church services regularly, they also see that those churches are places where they could actually call their own and identify with, where they gather in those spaces for different events, whether that is major life events like weddings. We all have to attend them for election hustings, as well as concerts. So we all know how important our historical buildings are, and we know the actual social value that these buildings also have, with an estimated 55 billion, and with every investment of £1 in the church, a return of £16 goes into the local community through outreach and community support. So I'm also pleased that the government will be publishing the evaluation report of the listed places of worship scheme soon.
Madam Deputy Speaker, does the honourable lady agree that there are practical consequences flowing from the failure of the government?
Members, there was a conversation taking place, a debate across the chamber. Sir Christopher Chope.
I'm grateful, Madam Deputy Speaker. Does the honourable lady accept that there are practical consequences flowing from the intolerable delay in the government making an announcement about this? For example, All Saints Church in Maddiford has got repairs underway, as has Christchurch Priory, and the consequences of the government not doing anything about this scheme is it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of pounds extra for those churches.
Over.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I thank the honourable member for his question. And he is right. Any further delay will continue to bring uncertainty to many churches across the country. So it's really important, and I'm reassured that the government will be coming forward with plans soon. And indeed, I think we heard the Secretary of State during Department for Culture, Media and Sport questions prior to church questions say that the government will be coming forward with plans soon.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. In Rottenham and the Harbour Villages, we're fortunate to have one of the highest numbers of listed places of worship in the country, from Tea to Tix over to All Saints and Stamford. So does the Church Commissioner agree with me that we really cannot allow these amazing places to fall into collapse and to lose them? Because once they are lost to our communities really are the ones who lose out.
Hold on.
The honourable lady will not be surprised to hear that, of course, I agree with her.
Mr McAllister.
Question number 5, please, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The situation in Palestine is beyond devastating, and the Church continues to support the Anglican province of Jerusalem. And during Advent last year, the Archbishop of York visited the West Bank, meeting Christian Palestinian families affected by settler violence and witnessing tensions firsthand. The Church of Scotland and the Scottish Episcopal Church are also working with the Palestinian community. Senior clergy have visited the Tent of Nations to promote peace and justice.
Caritas Internationalis is just one of the 37 international aid organisations Israel has sought to bar or deregister. This will have severe impacts on humanitarian aid delivery in Gaza. Also, at midnight mass at Christ the Redeemer Church in the West Bank, they adorned their Christmas tree not with baubles, but with the names of the lands expected to be occupied or already stolen by illegal settlers. So what support can the Church provide to these brave Christians in occupied Palestinian territories?
Thank you. And the honourable member will not be surprised to learn that the issue of what is happening in Palestine has featured heavily during church question time for the past year. Now, Israel revoking licences of dozens of aid agencies in Gaza and the West Bank will only worsen the situation. As I've outlined during the Archbishop of York's recent visit, he met with Christian families affected by settler violence and faced with tense standoffs with settlers, as well as some of the challenges they faced around displacement and damage to their land. And I'm pleased to say that bishops will also be making another pilgrimage to Palestine in the very near future. But can I just urge honourable members to continue to keep raising this issue, because the sooner we get peace, and the sooner we can actually see that people are being taken care of across Palestine.
Deputy Speaker, I thank the member for that answer. When it comes to worship, it's really important that it is retained, but one of the reasons why people will stay is because they have jobs and opportunities. When I met some of the churches and the representatives just last year, they had said that the people were leaving not just because of persecution, but because they had nothing to do work-wise. So what's the church doing to ensure that opportunities are there when it comes to work, and that at the work they will stay and they will worship God and their church?
I thank the honourable member for his question. As he rightly knows, the church is playing a role in the province in Jerusalem, and I would be happy to write to him to set out further actions that the church is taking in relation to work and other projects.
Question 6, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. With permission, I wish to group questions 6 and 10. The terminally ill end-of-life bill is still being debated in the other place, and it's in its final. What it will look like is still yet to be decided. The Church anticipates that there will be considerable impacts on end-of-life ministry, pastoral support, and bereavement counselling offered by its chaplains and clergy.
Thank you. Chaplains work in various settings, including care homes, hospitals and hospices. If the bill were to pass unamended, it may be required to provide assisted dying services to people who are terminally ill, as there is currently no organisational opt-out. So would the Church support an amendment in the other place to allow, firstly, chaplains to conscientiously object, and also an organisational opt-out for those hospices and other organisations that have religious foundations from providing support to those who wish to end their life with assistance under the Act if passed?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I thank the lady for her question. The Church supports the need for an institutional and individual opt-out, as many hospices have highlighted their concerns with how the bill will impact their operations if there were to continue to be no option to opt out in the bill. It is crucial that hospices can offer their vital services without being compelled to offer assisted dying if they hold a conscientious objection.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Where assisted dying has been legalised and there are opt-outs for faith-based hospices, this is now being challenged in the courts. Opt-outs and faith-based conscientious objections are unworkable and will be subject to constant legal wrangling. This is just one of the many serious concerns associated with assisted dying. Does my honourable friend agree that this is a dangerous bill and the other place are right to be given it thorough scrutiny?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And it is right that all legislation is scrutinised, and the assisted dying bill is no different from that. And I want to commend the bishops in the other place for their diligent work on this bill right now. My honourable friend and I do share the same view on this bill, which she probably shouldn't be surprised at. But we do need to focus on, in my view, on end-of-life care and palliative care. We really should be giving people assistance to live.
Lamont.
Thank you very much. Question number 7, please.
The new Palace Yard project will be completed this month. There will be an expected cost of £62 million within the latest approved business case. Madam Deputy Speaker, the project included important security works and significant ground and heritage works.
I'm grateful for that answer, but frankly, for that project, the new Scotland Yard project, costs an estimated more than £60 million, is eye-watering, and most of our constituents will find it outrageous, particularly as it's not fit for purpose. Staff are having to queue for long periods of time to leave Parliament at the end of the day. So can I ask, what was the original budget for this project? Who approved it? Who designed it? And does he think there's sufficient political oversight of this project and similar types of work going on in this Parliament?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. There have been different estimates for the stages of the project, which of course he's right to point out. The costs have evolved since 2017, but why don't I send him across the recent Finance Committee report published just before Christmas, which goes through the detail on this. On delays, these have occurred, particularly at peak times, and it's taken too long for vehicles to leave. But steps are being taken to speed up the exit times.
Josh Dean.
Number 8, please, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Nick Smith.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the Restoration and Renewal Programme has engaged extensively with members of both houses. In this Parliament, there have been 380 interactions with MPs and peers through briefings, tours and events. In the past 3 years, since January 2023, this number is about 980. The Client Board will shortly be publishing a report to help us all decide on the preferred way forward.
Josh Dean.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I thank my honourable friend for that answer and for the Board's engagement with parliamentary colleagues. A full decant from Parliament is among the options for colleagues to consider as we restore this place, and it is an option that I would personally support. However, can he set out what engagement the Board has had regarding any plans to ensure that Parliament remains in London if we decant, to ensure the jobs of the hundreds of people who keep this place running, including our catering and cleaning staff, are protected?
Madam Deputy Speaker, after ramping up engagement on the cost information and after the House has provided direction on the R&R programme, if we do go to full decant, the Lords will likely go to the QE2 building and MPs to the Northern Estate. Now, there will be ongoing work done on temporary accommodation and the related impact on jobs for all of us to consider in the future.
Gareth Snell.
Number 9, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Smith.
Madam Deputy Speaker, my honourable friend always takes an interest in ceramics and parliamentary procurement. He'll remember that approximately 85% of ceramic items purchased in our gift shops are either fully or partially made in the UK. More widely, Parliament endeavours to purchase British goods and in compliance with the procurement legislation. If he wants further information, though, I'm very happy to help him.
Gareth Snell.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Can I thank the honourable gentleman for his continued engagement with me on this matter, because I think it is something that is of importance. The ceramic commemorative tankard in sale over the gift shop over Christmas was marked up as being decorated in Stoke-on-Trent. But what that means, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that it is formed and fired overseas, imported into the UK, decorated and then sold. Under the rules of the House, that would be considered a British product because it is considered to be where the last substantial transformation took place. So could I encourage the honourable gentleman to take back to the Commission that when we are buying things in this place, when we want to label them as British, they are British from start to finish, whether that be the food we use, the plates we use, the cutlery we use, or any products in here, so we can showcase the best of British talent.
Madam Deputy Speaker, my honourable friend is a doughty campaigner for ceramics and Stoke. The limited edition House of Campaigns Christmas mugs are a popular product in our gift shop. These products are sourced as unfinished products from overseas and then hand finished in the UK. This approach ensures that it's commercially viable to purchase and the retail team can sell the product while maintaining high standards. But I'd be very happy to meet him again to discuss this further.
Richard Baker.
Question number 11, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Marsha Cordova.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Last year, the General Synod voted to reform safeguarding structures, and these reforms intend to ensure greater safeguarding independence, scrutiny and consistency of delivery across the Church, and will come to Parliament for final approval in due course. Other progress met since the vote was in February 2025 has been the appointment of Dame Christine Ryan as the Independent Executive Chair of Safeguarding Structures Programme Board. bringing significant senior experience in safeguarding, regulation, policy and delivery, and she will provide an update on her plans and proposals to the General Synod when it meets next month.
Honourable friend for that update. Will she agree that there should be no further delay in the Church adopting a fully independent model for safeguarding, and that it's vital the Church authorities and our new Archbishop of Canterbury act to restore confidence in safeguarding in the Church?
Again, Madam Deputy Speaker, no one will be surprised to hear that obviously I agree with my honourable friend's question. It is vital to restore confidence and trust, and there is work being done across the country by local safeguarding officers, often volunteers, and I thank them for all of their hard work they are doing. Now, the Archbishop-elect has repeatedly stated that safeguarding will be a significant priority for her as she takes up her role, and I look forward to working with her on this.
Okay, that is the end of the Church Commissioners and the House of Commons Commission and the Restoration and Renewal Client Board questions. If people want to exit, they should do so quickly.